The text came while my daughter was lighting candles on the cake she'd baked from scratch. We've decided to celebrate at a restaurant. It's adults only. Dad. 3 days she had spent cooking. 23 portions. Marinated, chopped, baked, decorated. She had poured her heart into every dish. And with one message, they erased her. Erased us. I looked at her, standing in that kitchen, hands dusted in flour, face still glowing with hope. She asked, "Should I start plating?" I smiled, steady. Not yet. I didn't scream. I didn't drive to the restaurant to make a scene. I simply took action. 15 hours later, their door started shaking. Hashtag family gatherings used to mean warmth. At least, that's how I remembered them. My mother, sharp, elegant, demanding. My father, controlling, cold, a man who spoke more with rules than affection. I was the dutiful daughter, the one who bent to keep the peace. But my daughter, she was different. 17, with fire in her eyes, with the kind of kindness that disarmed strangers. She loved cooking, not because she had to, but because it made her feel closer to the people she loved. She thought my parents would taste her food and see her. Instead, they spit her out before the first bite. It wasn't the first time. The whispered remarks at Christmas about her tone. The Easter dinner where they invited everyone but us. The sideways looks whenever she spoke her mind. But this was different. This was cruelty sharpened into precision. To cancel her 3-day effort with a text. To call her unworthy, not even with words, but with silence. That was the moment I realized. They weren't just excluding me anymore. They were targeting her. And that I couldn't forgive. I could have argued. I could have begged for her seat at their table. But why would I? Their table was rotten. Their party meaningless. What mattered was not fitting into their world, but showing them what it felt like to be cut out of one. So I planned. Quietly, calmly. Every ounce of pain they caused her became fuel. Every slight became strategy. If they wanted a party without us, I would make sure it was a night they never forgot. Step 1, the food. I packed every dish my daughter had made, carefully, lovingly, labeled them, sealed them, set them aside. Step 2, the invites. I called the cousins, the neighbors, the very people my parents wanted to impress at the restaurant. I didn't beg them to skip. I gave them an alternative. There's food already waiting, homemade, enough for everyone. Come by my place. Step 3, timing. I sent the group message 15 minutes before the restaurant reservation. While my parents arrived in their finest clothes, expecting applause, their guests' phones buzzed. One by one, the guests turned and walked out. Where did they go? To my house. To my daughter's table. The meal she prepared became the centerpiece. The laughter that filled our home was the kind my parents had tried to deny us. And while the restaurant sat half empty, my daughter, my 17-year-old girl, was surrounded by people who actually saw her. But I wasn't done, because while my mother stewed in embarrassment and my father clenched his fists in humiliation, I knew their pride wasn't the only weak point. The real strike was financial. The restaurant required a deposit, a hefty one, non-refundable, charged to Dad's card. So when the staff brought out trays of food for empty chairs, the humiliation doubled with every dollar wasted. And then came the calls. First from my sister, then from Dad. Angry, demanding. I let them ring. Until I didn't. When I finally picked up, Dad's voice was trembling with rage. "What the hell did you do?" I kept my voice calm. I gave her the birthday party she deserved, the one you stole. He spat curses. I didn't flinch. You wanted an adults-only night? I said quietly. Now you've got one. Alone. And I hung up. 15 hours later, their door shook. Not from joy, not from family, but from debt collectors and angry vendors demanding payment. The humiliation spread faster than wildfire. The story of the failed birthday dinner became gossip at the country club, whispers at church. My parents, so obsessed with appearances, were stripped bare. Their empire of pride toppled. And my daughter? She stood taller. That night she looked at me and said, "They didn't want me there." I held her hand, steady. They didn't deserve you there. For the first time in years, I didn't feel like the child begging for a place at their table. I felt like the woman who built her own. They had erased her effort with a text. I erased their illusion with silence. And as I watched her smile, surrounded by the family we chose, one truth cut sharp and clean. They tried to make her invisible. Instead, I made them irrelevant.